Our third storyteller is a Long Island social worker and actress who has now begun to tell her own stories and develop them and perform them on stage, and who's I just got to know recently, Miss Rosemary Flanagan, or Ms.
I think so. Yeah, feels good. Oh boy. I think I did something here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take you back to 1958. I'm 8 years old. I live in Bethpage, Long Island. My street is lined with red brick ranch houses. Okay. I'm coming home from school, and I'm feeling a little scared and a little confused. You know, I'm a latchkey kid. This is a latchkey, which basically means both my parents work, and at 3 o'clock, I let myself into the house, okay? And I like this. I'm an only child also, and I like being a latchkey kid because it's 2 hours during the day where I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do, and nobody is going to tell me what to do. Okay, or at least that's how I think of it. And of course, then there is the Inquisition at 5 o'clock when my parents come home. My mom asks me, she goes, "Did you do your chores? Did you do your homework? How was school?" And the answers are usually kinda, sorta, and nothing. Nothing happened, you know. But something did happen in school that day. And what happened in school in 1958 is we had our monthly air raid drill. Now, our air raid drill, you know, this would happen monthly. A big siren would go off and everything. And they would take everyone in the elementary school, that's all the way from the kindergarten to the 8th grade, and they would take us all into the hall, and they would have us line up single file, and they would have us march silently, and they were very strict about this and very stern, particularly that day. They all seemed to have rulers on them that day. And they marched us downstairs to the basement where the cafeteria was, and we had to do this in silence. And then when we got down there, they lined the basement walls with the elementary school kids, and we had our backs against the wall, and they said, "Now sit down and, you know, cross your legs, sit down, and put your head in your lap like this." And this would go on. We had to stay like that for about 5 minutes. And I had done this the year before, so we were doing it again. And I knew that the reason for this was because of the two superpowers that had the atomic bomb. And I knew the United States was one, and I knew Russia was the other one, and I knew they were eyeball to each other, and neither one of them wanted to be first, but neither one of them wanted to be second either, because if they were second, it means somebody hit them first. So I knew that this was going on, and I knew the atomic bomb to me was like, from television, I knew that the atomic bomb was something that, like, the plane flew and they dropped this bomb down on something, on a town or a place. And what happened was it was silent but deadly. You didn't hear any sound, but there was just big white light, and then whoosh, the mushroom. All right, that's what the atomic bomb was to me. So I knew that this is what this was all about. But it was kind of a little jumbled in my mind and everything. And here we are, last year we did this, and now I'm sitting on the floor, cross-kneed, and I'm thinking, 5 minutes, we're down there, and I'm thinking, what's going on in those 5 minutes? What's really going on? And can I just kind of peek a look? So I take my head and I peek up, and my favorite teacher, or at least she was my favorite teacher, Miss McManus, comes up to me and she says, "Rosemary Flanagan, you put your head down right now. You put your head down right now, and you don't look up until an adult or a teacher tells you can look up. And you just pray to God that the atomic bomb does not get dropped. You just pray to God that we don't have a war." All right. So, I'm a God-fearing Catholic little kid, didn't have to do, we didn't go to church or anything, but I'm God-fearing and everything like that. Now, the thing is, when you get yelled at in school like that, out in front of everybody like that, nobody wants to talk to you for the rest of the day, especially when you're little like that. So you're kind of like you're bad, you know what I mean? So they don't talk to you. So I'm walking home from school, and I'm walking behind the big kids, meaning the 12-year-old and the 13-year-olds, and they're boys and everything, and they're saying, "You know who's here? Khrushchev is here in the United States. He's here, and he's in Washington, D.C." And I'm thinking to myself, Khrushchev, I know who Khrushchev is. He's the guy. He's the guy. And I know him from my black and white TV. I see him come on and everything like that. And he goes, rah, 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 rah. And he's like a white, middle-aged, bald-headed, high forehead guy. And he's going, rah, 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 in Russian, which I don't speak, you know? So the commentator comes on and he said, this is Nikita Khrushchev. He's premier of Russia. And he is saying, America, we will bury you. We will bury you, America. And he's here in Washington, D.C. And that's where the president lives. The president lives in Washington, D.C. Now, the president is also a white, middle-aged, bald guy with a high forehead. I mean, they really do look a lot alike if you really think about it. And I'm thinking, when these two guys meet, they hate each other. They're eyeball to eyeball. And when they meet, what are they going to do? Are they going to do like one of my father's favorite programs that I watch with him? Are they going to get into a ring and wrestle in their underwear? Now, this is what's going through my mind and everything like that. And then finally I think, oh my God, suppose Khrushchev kills Eisenhower. Now, that's President of the United States, if I didn't say that. That's the guy, the white guy with the bald head, too. And I'm thinking, suppose he kills Eisenhower. Suppose he kills Eisenhower. Then Khrushchev is going to take over America. He's going to take over America. He's going to bury us, and Russians are going to live here, and America is going to be no more. Right about now, I'm in front of my house, right? I'm in front of my house, and I'm noticing it seems really quiet in my neighborhood. Unusually quiet, and it's been overcast all day. You know, the clouds, the sun going in and out, but it seems kind of dark. And it's so quiet, not even the meanest 6-year-old that lives across the street, Billy Duffy, not even Billy Duffy is out there torturing the family cat. And so I'm thinking, not even Billy Duffy's out. Billy Duffy is the meanest kid. Let me just tell you one thing about Billy Duffy. He's the kind of kid, one time he sucker punched me so hard in the stomach, he knocked the wind out of me, and then he kicked me in the shins. I hate Billy Duffy. I do not like Billy Duffy. But Billy Duffy, I will say this, is not afraid of anybody. He's not afraid of anything or anybody, and even he's not out. So it seems kind of creepy, and then all of a sudden I hear it. A plane. And in my head, I think a World War II movie with John Wayne where he says, hit the decks, bombers! And I'm thinking, okay, hit the decks, bombers. All right. And then I think of my dad and my mom. Whenever they talked about World War II, they always said, the next big war, World War III, is going to be on American soil. So I'm thinking this in my head. And just as I'm thinking this, Billy Duffy comes running out of the house, screams at me, rah, 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 rah. He looks scared out of his mind. He looks like he's running for his life, and he's running down the street, and I say, what, Billy? And he says, rah, 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 rah. I don't know what he's saying, but in my head, I do know what he's saying. I know that Billy Duffy's dad is in the military, and Billy Duffy knows that he's no match for Khrushchev, and Khrushchev is coming, and World War III is coming, and I take my key, I take my latch key, and I let myself into the house, and I just go, World War III, we're going to be bombed, I'm going to be killed. And I'm all alone, and there's nobody here to tell me what to do. And then I throw myself down on my knees. I throw myself down on my knees, and I start to pray, and I say, oh God, please, don't make it happen. Don't make it happen. Don't make this happen. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please don't make it happen. And I swear, I see or I feel a flash of light. And I'm thinking, oh my God, please, no, turn back time. No, don't make it happen. Don't make it happen. And I stay there for a very long time because nobody's there to really tell me to look up. But I finally do because I realize I'm okay. So I look up, and I look, and I see my living room is the same. And I also see that the sun is back out because sunlight is coming through the back window of the dining room and coming right into the living room and lighting everything up. And I'm thinking, God has answered my prayers. I've been saved. The inside of my house has been saved. And I go to the door, and I expect when I open the door that the whole neighborhood has been bombed out, just like in a black and white movie in the, when you see the European towns and it's all in shambles. And I open the door, and of course, that's not the case. Everything is just as I left it. And walking down the street is Billy Duffy, obviously not aware that I just saved his life. So I call to Billy Duffy, and I say, Billy, what now? I'm kind of, not Billy. What were you saying before? And he says to me, oh, Mom's having a party for the twins. Last minute. Yeah, it's after dinner. All the kids in the neighborhood are invited. Now I'm curious, and I'm thinking, what? So I said, well, why were you running? And he says, I don't know. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I think this too. You're thinking little girl, active imagination, scary times. But I want you to think about two things. One of the things I learned is I recently saw a documentary. It was called Cold War Roadshow. And Eisenhower was here, 1958. And he really wanted to go among the people. And both the Soviet Union and the United States, the security, they really wanted security with him. But he really, really went out there. And everyone had seen him say, we will, I want to bury you, but we'll bury you, America. So there were people out there that really were afraid of him, and that actually thought of him as the Red Murderer, And he really could have been assassinated. And one of the things historians say, had he been assassinated in 1958, definitely there would have been a war. Even one of their own people said, yeah, boom, if he's assassinated. So there really could have been a war. Something happened to him. And the second thing I want you to think about, if God is going to answer the prayer of anyone, wouldn't it be a little kid? So just maybe in 1958, a little girl did save the world with a prayer. Thank you.